we can kind of like match from there. All
Okay.
right, ladies and gentlemen, we're live. I was going to wait till a few people joined us. Hopefully they saw the thing. They may not. Oh yeah. By the way, I took your advice. We are streaming on both formats now.
Twitch and
No, no,
YouTube.
no, no. The Twitch is the Twitch thing. I still have a bug with them. I'll fix that. But the
Oh,
the
vertical and the horizontal.
yeah, vertical and horizontal.
Oh, dude, this chat is gonna be hopping. So, it's really about keeping the topic hot, and yeah, the room will fucking grow. Yeah, I had what was it, something like 3,000 views or something like that, and I had like a 57-second retention. Best I've ever had is a minute 20.
Yeah, when I was talking with YouTube today, they showed me, well, they unlocked one thing and they showed me how to adjust the vertical and everything so it would kind of like work right. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully, hey, somebody there in chat, say type something. Let me see if this new chat window is working right because I changed it. I changed a bunch of stuff, so
Um,
I don't see anybody.
I'm going over in there right now. There you go. I see that you're live. FBI confirms there's 4 people in there.
Yeah, I see 4 people, but that might be a few slow typers.
Okay, that's me.
Okay, there we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, you see the way it floated on the screen there?
Oh, yeah, neat. Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that sort of changed that way the screen don't get real busy with all
And
the
I
chat
see you got
messages.
a bottom banner too, a ticker.
Yeah, I had that. I have been having that on for a while, and
Huh.
but I mean it's like I just keep changing. That's where I'll throw like the back in 5 minute stuff and maybe a message or so. But anyway, since there's 4 people in here now, and to whoever's watching, there is a little bit of channel news that I want to throw out there. That way, it's on the top of the hour. All of the older content on Paranoid Times will be over the course of a week or so. It's going to take me some time, but it will be moving to. Sorry, my son's in here. Well, he's decided to come in here anyway. um, but anyway, all of the older Hold on. I'm trying to talk here. Here you go. Okay, yeah. All of the older content will be moved over to a backup channel and will be removed from the original channel.
Okay. And what is it that we're trying to accomplish? Just to um, give YouTube a whole new direction that you're going.
Well, I'm doing it to appease our YouTube overlords.
Oh yeah, because they're
Yeah,
demonetizing you.
yeah. Well, now see, I mean, the original channel has been demonetized for a while. I can talk a little better now. My son has decided to go into the other room. Um, he was after a cord, but anyway, like I said, all of the older content is going to be moved over to another channel. I believe it's going to be called Paranoid Times Library, or it might be Paranoid Times Vault. I have a few different ones that I created over the years that I was originally going to use as backups. Um, but it will basically act like this channel, but be there for as something that is not monetized. um, this channel will be remonetized again. That way, I can effectively keep the lights on. And like I said, when I first got demonetized, we were making quite a bit of money, and that money was supposed to go to this large movie project that I was working on, and we had got the cameras, we had got the locations, and everything else, and YouTube pulled the rug out on us. So I'm going to try to do uh, the Gas Mask Chronicles again, and a few other shows that I was originally working on, and I do have a whole bunch of other new ones in the work that will make it here, and a few others. There's also going to be a soap channel. It's this this weird soap opera, modern day sci-fi thing that will be going up soon. Um, and there's another channel that I have been talked into creating and running, and it's called Midnight Confessions.
Hmm.
Yeah,
What's that one about?
now this one, I'll be happy to I'll be happy to read the 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 tag for it. Basically, Confessions is a safe place on the internet to confess what you've never dared to say out loud. Every night we'll deep dive into raw, anonymous confessions, love, betrayal, secrets, regret, guilty pleasures, and the things that keep you up at 2 a.m. No judgment, no names, just real stories whispered in the dark. All the submissions will be 100% anonymous. They will be able to either send their confessions by voice note, text, or email. I'll do a call in thing, and I can change the voice if they want me to.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, this is I've been talked into doing it, and I had uh, like a test thing a long time ago, and the people that saw the test channel, let's put it this way, they have really encouraged me to go forward with it.
Oh yeah, you'll that'll probably be your flagship after a while. I could see that if you got enough content. Oh, I could see that being like, oh, you would you yeah, that you could turn that into a soap opera.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, there's also like the soap opera thing has been in the works for a while. It's just this like little crazy thing on modern day politics and bullshit. I mean, and the individuals that saw the first part of it really liked it, and it's kind of been hiding out there on the internet, and they want me to push forward with it too, and so those are two new things that's coming on, and those are like separate channels, and of course all the old content that's on Paranoid Times will go over there. This one will be totally active live shows, movie skits and things like that. Read stories, guest interviews. I'm starting to get people that want to come on and talk, which I have no problem. I hope they do. Um, so it's looking good. It is looking real good for the Paranoid Times and the Umbrella, I guess you would say.
That is awesome, man. I did not know how big you really were. Like, I mean, I know you've talked about it, and I've seen your channel, just like done a quick glance at it. But I've it's amazing the people you meet in your travels and just make connections with over time. But
Well, I mean, I
sounds like
took a
you've got something
break.
really big going.
I mean, like I said, this thing has been going on for 10 years, and all the well, and of course, Paranoid Times originally was on an AT&T bulletin board, and we had something like a radio show. I mean, it was kind of like this, and I mean, there's still episodes out there, but at that time, we were competing with like, like the latter part of Art Bell and whatnot, and we kind of converted over to a newsletter, and you used to be able to find the Paranoid Times newsletter like at rest stops and restaurants and stuff. Where you walk in and you see like a little rack of free papers or something.
Huh.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, we were out there. I mean, it wasn't no big deal. And then we had people that would, like send $1 in the mail, and we sent them, back a free subscription of a newsletter or something. But it was like it was. But the channel itself and the idea has been around for a long time, and there's a lot of people that know about it. There's a lot of old timers that like it.
Mm.
I just have to get back in the ball. I mean, like I said, I took a break um, to raise my children, and YouTube pissed me off, and I mean, I really just lost heart and got burnt out. And now I want to come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, I don't know. I had my own form of burnout, but I was more like pissed than burnout. Yeah, having a year off really did a made it so that you can come back. Sometimes you need to take a break. So, but now you're all happy and excited about it now.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's just I know there's a lot of work involved.
Yeah. Well, like what kind of work? Like you got to do a lot of writing, a lot of researching, and then there comes the production. Like outside of that, what else is there to do that takes up a lot of time?
Basically managing, well, until the team comes back on board fully. I mean, until the team fully comes back on board. Um, you're basically managing, and vetting people who come on. You got to take care of that.
Oh, okay. So it's essentially it's just like starting a small business.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah, you
yeah.
wear
I
all
mean,
the hats at
you have to
once.
go through everything, and then you have to go through, the finances, and you have to um, sponsorships can be a huge pain and huge headache.
Yeah.
I was dealing with a sponsor today. Well, I've been talking to him for about a week now, and I got a certain way that I do it and handle it, and if it doesn't meet those, you know, certain standard criteria that I have done before in the past, then I don't do it, because there's a lot of sponsors out there that make you want to make you think that they're helping you, and they're not. They are just, using you for free publicity and whatever, and you know so you have to be real
Yeah.
careful when it comes to sponsors.
Yeah, I'm kind of I'm figuring my way out because homeless entrepreneur is in a way a quasi sponsor with what him and I are talking about doing as far as collaboration and stuff. And yeah, it's a it's a hairy line to walk. But like how do sponsors reach out to you or do you reach out to sponsors?
In the old day, they would reach you. They would even come to your house and send you letters and knock down your door, bring you a big old check. Now you have to go out and look for them, because there's so many people out there claiming that they can do this, or you know, each sponsor will have their own advertising team and think, okay, this is the route I need to go, and it's really not. I mean, um, the old way is the best way when it comes to to gaining sponsors and actually approaching YouTubers. Now, there's a lot of subscribers out. I mean, there's a lot of subscribers that may be YouTubers, and especially on other channels and things like that. And in your email, you will receive numerous things saying, I would like to sponsor you. I would like to you fill out this. I mean, what's his name? The big YouTuber, Beast, whatever his name is,
Oh, Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast. Well, Mr. Beast reached out to me about a month ago and wanted me to join his team. Um, but I would have had a choice to either join his team and make content for him, or do what I do. And well, I mean, I chose to do what I do. I mean, of course, I'm here now. I mean, I wasn't going to be doing that stuff, but I'm, but that's the way the sponsors are trying to get you to do things. Like you'll have big YouTubers that will reach out. You'll have big organizations that will reach out, and then it is riddled with scammers as well. They,
Scammers,
you know,
how? Because I mean, I can.
they want to get access to your channel so they can flip it and try to push off these fake AI videos like crypto scams and things like that. I mean, it's you got to be real careful about who you pick because sometimes you have to give them access to your channel.
Oh, really? I've got one sponsor. I mean, basically, but probably one of the most honest people I've come in contact with in a long time. Um, I mean, like total stand-up
Now,
lady.
you're talking about the lady that with the property.
Yes,
Well,
Stephanie.
that's a different kind of sponsor. That's a brick and mortar kind of sponsor. You know, that's a person, a business, an organization that you can, go up to and say, hey, look, da 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 da, da, and they provide you something, a physical asset. But when you're talking, the only way that can go bad for you is if you guys have a disagreement or it just doesn't work out and it's on the land there. But when you're talking about this, you don't. I mean, I can't, in the past, I don't know, 8 years, I can't tell you that I've actually seen anybody in person that would, that has exchanged money to me to, either sell or promote something.
Okay, so like it's basically you're doing retail,
Yeah.
right? You're hawking you're hawking merch.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Yeah.
and that's the case. That's a lot of cases. You'll have. That's another thing that pisses me off about TikTok, because you go on TikTok, you'll have these people who use repost content or rebrand content, or they'll go over to YouTube and they'll steal content, or they'll make some of the dumbest stuff and stick on there, and then they'll take and bang their channel up. And once they bang their channel up, they can get access to the TikTok store, and you can go on there and sell stuff. And you sell stuff, you make a profit, and you can also sell your own things. And well, that's how a lot of the actual quote unquote TikTokers get rich, because they're making money that way. Now, if you're a big TikToker, now you can land some pretty good deals, but the majority of stuff that if you're a follower of anybody with a high subscriber count, 9 times out of 10 they're selling you something that they wouldn't use themselves.
Huh. Well, I guess that's probably what sets me apart because, yeah, I don't know. I used to I asked a client once when I owned my janitorial business. So my first commercial contract I got post construction. Um, I'm talking to him over the phone. He's giving me dimensions. I'm thinking, oh, that'll be fine. $1,600. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you want to come look at it? I said, sure, I'll come look at it. I come, I show up. He's like, and I do a walkthrough, and I'm like, oh fuck, I just fucked myself because there's something wrong here. And and I ended up talking to them. They're like, do you want to change your bid? And I'm like, no. What I told you I would give you is what I give you. And yeah, I may have to eat it on this one, but I'll give you what I promised you at the price I promised you. And because of that, I got in with the GC that was building all kinds of brand new urban airs. Plus, these guys had like two more going in, and they had a shenanigans. And so, because I honored my contract and did what I said I would do and stuff like that, it led to so much more money that even in YouTube, I kind of think of it the same way because, I made so much more money being honest than if I would have tried to get greedy and say, hey, I want this much. Now, at the end of it, I did ask him, it's like, so what's the sweet spot for you? And they told me basically double my price. I was like, oh, okay, sure. Next time you want one done, that'll be the price we do it at. And that's what it was.
Mm. I mean, if they're allowing you to double the price, they have a low their low cost.
Well, yeah, I had to, in order to get their shenanigans contract, I took it from a company that was full of nothing but illegal aliens working for $7 an hour. I
uh,
was doing it at 15 when I should have been doing it about 22.50. So yeah, down in Texas, you're competing with the illegals, and so your price drops as wages go up, and you're fucked. And that's really what happened. That's what put me upside down in my business. Is in 2018 you could pay somebody $7 to $9 or like $9 to $12 an hour, and that would be considered a good wage in the janitorial field. And then all of a sudden it went up to 15, and you finally go, okay, fine, I'll give you 15. And now they're like, no, I want $20. It's like, I'm not going to pay you $20 to push a broom. No, 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 no. You're asking me to go in the hole to pay you, and I'm not. So yeah, that was a secondary reason of why I ended up just letting it go instead of fighting for it.
oh, I don't blame you. I mean, but now, I mean, the case is the whole, I mean, wages and everything else has went up dramatically. I think Virginia, they just passed a bill where it's like up to $23 an hour now, or something like that. So yeah,
Well,
yeah. I mean,
they're
you're.
they're
I mean,
saying
well, I mean, cost of
16.
living is not that bad in some places, and I mean, if you're getting paid $23 an hour for as base pay, I, that's that's amazing. I mean, when I started work, I think I was getting like $6 an hour. That's
I disagree.
crazy.
I disagree with you because I got to see it firsthand. Okay, Maryville, Missouri. I worked at Planet Sub. Okay, it's a college town. They have Northwest Missouri State there. They're actually a Division II champions and stuff like that. They've even won a national title
I
on
see
their
you,
football
chat.
team. Um, but anyways, when Donald Trump did the whole tariff thing, that cost the city 20% of its overall revenue, because though, or actually a lot more than that, but that was just 20% of the student body. These people came in, paid cash, paid a premium price, and then came in, and they were the ones doing most of the shopping, all the foreigners bringing all their foreign money. Well, when that dropped, you could see Planet Sub, you'd hear stories about, oh yeah, it was hopping all night long, and now it's like after 2 p.m. there's like maybe 5 people that come in between 2 and 8 when you close. And then as they were raising minimum wage, people would come in, and they would normally, like, I watched prices go up like every couple of weeks. Prices were going up because of inflation and cost of everything. And it got to a point where people were spending $20 just on a whole sandwich, when like when I first started, like 6 months prior, it was, you could find one for 16, $17.
Well, I mean, you've heard
And
you have heard of the sub hypothesis, haven't you?
no.
Okay, the sub hypothesis basically equates that. Well, okay, well, let me ask you first. How much was a sub and, I don't know, a bag of chips or a thing of fries at Planet Sub?
Bag of chips and a drink. You would, if for a whole sub, you would be paying about 20 to 22, depending upon which one you got.
Okay. Now the idea of like sandwich sub restaurant business, you should be able to buy a meal with an hour's work of wage. That's considered a luxury. I mean, unless you go to the supermarket, you buy the stuff yourself and you make your own things, then you can, maybe make 2 or 3 meals. But the idea, if you go out and eat, that 1 hour's wage should buy one person one dinner. I mean, that is a hypothesis. If it goes over that, then you're not making enough money. If it's under that, then you're making enough money.
Well, you know what? The only people that were coming in was freaking electricians and professors. The students, they were kind of. Now, I was able to eat there because that saved $20 sub cost me five.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know,
Of course, there's deals and stuff. Like you go to Subway and you can get a
well, no,
sub.
I was getting 65% off. So yeah, that was their margin. I got it at cost.
Probably the majority of the chat wonders why there is a image or a Google Map image of a graveyard on the screen. I know I would. Um. Well, anyway, this is a place in New York. Um. I saw an article on it today, and it gave me the creeps. It's about 1.5 hectares in size, and it has about 4,643 residents, in the ground. Um, but it also has, scientists have found 5.6 million burrowing bees beneath the cemetery. That means that every one of those coffins, every one of those vaults are beehives. For some reason, that made my skin crawl.
They're beehives.
Yeah, there is 5 point. This is the largest burrowing bee hive on record.
Okay, that's a good thing though.
Well, no, these are not honeybees. These are burrowing bees. They basically just you know live, eat, get pollen, move it back around. They're not. They're. I mean, I guess they're beneficial to some degree in the environment, but they're not. They're not like they're not like honeybees. But they do build hives. They don't make honey.
Huh. What's their purpose? Like, if you can use Google, what is the purpose in nature for these burrowing bees? Like, what do they actually offer? Because then that might explain part of this.
Well, yeah, I did have it. I did have it pulled up. Now they're called mining bees, and let's see if we
Is it
can.
just loosen up the soil? Are they bringing nutrients to the soil?
I mean, they're pretty big. They're nocturnal. Now they come out at night too. See, that's the other weird thing about it. So I mean, you're if you were to go to the cemetery at night, that's when you see this massive swarm of bees come out.
Hmm.
I'm a looking. I'm a looking. I'm a looking. Uh, purpose and function. There we go. Okay. Well, it says they're highly efficient pollinators, but I mean, so are honeybees.
And so are mosquitoes.
Yeah.
But when do they pollinate? Because mosquitoes will pollinate after a fire.
These pollinate. It says the mining bee is a solitary ground nesting bee species, crucial for spring pollination, particularly for wild plants, crops like apples and blueberries. They often form massive non-social. Uh, that word's hard. In sunny, well-drained soil to raise larvae, and then they go on to say with 5.5 million recently found in one New York cemetery. I mean,
Wow.
yeah. I don't know. It just seems like it's
Maybe a giant forest is about to be born.
I don't know. Well, I mean, they have like wolves and stuff like that and everything else, and I mean, but it just seems like it feels weird. Two, it feels creepy that you know I mean these bees have to. Okay, even when you pass away, you still have a fair amount of like sugar and stuff in your body.
Okay.
These bees
They're
have,
just decomposing the body and more efficiently?
yeah, but they're in there. They're you know Johnny Skeleton is a beehive. I
Yes,
mean,
but
yeah.
once you pass on and you no longer inhabit that body, it's nature's job to decompose it and put it to good use, to put it as fertilizer so that it can be new life for something else.
The normal thought and process behind that, I agree with you. Yes, I 100% agree with you. However, the reason the human population likes cemeteries is because, like, you know, we're freaky about death. And you know what? That's the reason we put. I mean, they'll tell you the reason they put a casket in a vault is to keep the ground from falling back down. But in a lot of people's minds, that vault is to keep other things out. Other things from getting in there with you, even though they do drill holes in the bottom of it. But I
Huh.
mean, that a lot of people look at it that way. They think they think they're getting that vault to lock themselves in. The guy, uh, what was it back in the day that built the horror house? It was what was,
Ripley?
huh?
Ripley?
No, not Ripley. The way back older, the one that killed all those people. He was America's Jack the Ripper. Um, H. Holmes, the one in Chicago. He built the house during the um what do they call it? Where every year they would have the
The
show off
world's.
the World's Fair.
Yeah.
Well, H. Holmes, um, you know, his request, and it happened. I mean, they sealed him in a cement tomb, poured cement around him and everything else. No one could get his body.
I mean, there are cultures that are, you could call them almost death cults, throughout history, where you've got your head shrinkers and other things like that. But I know in early Christianity, a lot of people after their family passed, they would actually still, set the corpse at the dinner table with them so that, in case the resurrection happened, so that they could be there and eating with the family.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a lot of cultures like that, and they're very specific about how they do stuff. I mean, even my family is very weird about how we process and handle death. Um, but yeah, yeah. What I'm just saying is, but America has become more. We're a fast food nation. Everything is based around that idea.
Including our judicial system.
Our judicial system, our food, and unfortunately our funerals. And I mean, you can go to a funeral director, and he'll tell you the same thing if he's honest. And some of them are. I mean, a lot of good people. I mean, admittedly, I mean, I've met a lot of good ones. And then there's a lot that will um, scam the shit out of you. I mean, all this stuff they sell is overpriced, marked up. I mean, most of those caskets you can get for a few $100. The urns, they sell you for cremations, you can get for like 20. So yeah, but anything, and that's kind of how they got to make their money. I mean, it the chemicals and stuff they use are expensive. The other processes, is expensive. Cremation itself is really expensive. You
Well,
know,
that's why you have a percentage markup. Usually it's 20 to 40%.
but shifting gears, I just thought I'd bring that up. Plus, you're headed in that direction, so who knows?
I'm heading to the cemetery.
Yeah,
Oh, thanks.
I mean, from the map, there looked like a good little spot there you could camp in.
You know what? I've camped in a cemetery. It's not fun.
Oh, I
I
know,
was
I
on
know.
the edge of one. It's still not fun. And I didn't have Sam with me at the time either. Yeah, that would have been even worse.
I mean,
Yeah,
back when I was younger, I mean, I had a house that like it literally bordered like I could look out my bedroom window and there was a cemetery
yeah.
every night,
I
every
never
single
grew.
night.
I never grew up around a cemetery.
Mm.
We'd go to the cemeteries on the other side of town, but I never grew up around one. So,
But of
but
course, I've had friends that lived in old funeral homes.
so what about this Bigfoot thing?
Oh, we were getting to it. I mean, it's
Oh,
on the next uh the next the topic after this one. Now this is just like something that like also something else that just popped up. And how do you feel about book bans?
about what?
Book bans, bans, book bans.
Book bans.
Yeah, book bans.
Um, you ever read Fahrenheit 451?
Yes, yes, and I mean I know I know I know what you're gonna say, and I mean and it's this is something that is
Why would you ban a book? First of all, why? There's no reason to ban a book.
I
There,
agree.
unless you can prove that it's so fabricated and it's like in nonfiction and it's you can prove it, with historical data that is completely infactual, then I would say why would you ban a book?
Well, are you aware that in 2025, now I don't have all the numbers, but in 2025, they tried to ban 4,235 unique books. And in 2023, they tried to ban 4,240.
How many books are being written a year? Are these new books or are these old books?
These are new books. I mean, that's the thing. These, when you say ban, you're talking more from being able to gain access to it from like, Walmart or the library or the school's library and stuff like that. And we're talking modern here. We're talking about books that has to do with sexual violence and substance use and stuff like that, and LGBTQ and things like that.
Oh,
That might be, kind of questionable if they're they're kids
well,
are
if you can,
kids are sitting around the school a school library or school cafeteria reading books about this.
are you familiar with Chuck Palahniuk?
Do I know?
Chuck Palahniuk? He does one that's completely about a crack addicted sex addict, and then they even made a movie out of it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, I know what you're saying. I mean, and I know what you're saying. It took
Yeah,
me a
he's had
minute
a
to
couple
process.
of movies made.
But I mean, I'm wondering if we shouldn't put like a timer on it. Maybe that books themselves. Like let's say that all books after 1998 are you can't ban, and then every year we move the point up. Move the goal up. That
I
way, that way, these new books can kind of like. I mean, it doesn't stop like us from getting them and anyone else from getting them if they want to order them online or stuff like that. I mean, we're not talking about those kind of ban. We're talking about like I said, like Walmart
it's a
and
government ban.
yeah, and I mean, this will allow the dissemination of information. I mean,
That's
because I
that's a
mean,
direct violation of your First Amendment right.
oh,
The
I
freedom
know.
of the press and the freedom to assemble, the freedom to speak freely.
Well, I mean, there's still books out there they don't allow in libraries. I mean, that are from the 50s, and you start talking about like smut and stuff like that.
Oh,
I mean,
even Catcher in the Rye they tried to do with and several other books. Like Think and Grow Rich was one of those books that they got out of the schools for that reason. And
you
Think
know,
and Grow Rich is what gave us the biggest entrepreneurial boom in this country's history.
I mean, you're not going to find a Fate magazine one in a library, and that's not even on these topics.
The government is violating its own mandate. And the fact is we're not enforcing it, and so therefore they keep doing it, and so therefore it becomes precedence.
Well, I mean, they're yeah, we're not enforcing that, but they are enforcing the bans.
Oh yeah, that's a direct. Has anybody ever taken these to the Supreme Court?
They have. There's been numerous
And the
things.
Supreme Court did they uphold the government's position?
Uh, it depends on who's running the government at the time.
Okay.
You
I'll
know,
give you that.
you know. I mean, it's back and forth. But see, that's the thing. You know, our system is messed up when it comes to that because you get somebody in there, or the Supreme Court will, knock it back down again, and they have a habit of doing that. You know, if they don't want to deal with something, then they're going to send it. They're going to send it away. They always do. They always do.
Yeah, and they contradicted themselves in the Grants Pass case. Because how can you say man has the inherent right to travel, but then therefore make his gray areas where he could travel make it now illegal?
Well, I originally thought that everyone, had the right to travel. In the sense that, um, we didn't need a driver's license. We didn't need,
Yeah.
that was supposed to be a right.
Yes, the
Um,
Supreme Court has said that although it's not outlined in the Constitution or the Bill of Rights, the Supreme Court has always held. What was it? Are they? What was? I can't remember. Basically, they've always acknowledged the your inherent right to travel. But again, with what they did with Grants Pass, taking any okay, this is a park. It's along the river. I have river access rights, but because of Grants Pass now I could face legal problems because I would have to go and sort it out because of just the way in which the Supreme Court rules. It contradicts itself.
I mean, have you? I lost my train of thought. Okay, yeah. Now, the other day, was it yesterday or the day before, or am I dreaming it? Did I talk about the people that's not paying their income taxes?
Yeah, yeah, we talked about that, and
Okay.
I went on a whole historical thing on.
Okay, we don't need to go on a historical thing, but
Yeah.
I jumped over there today and to, kind of see what was going on, just out of curiosity. And if the numbers are right and everyone, well, there's at least 95,000 people in that group that have not paid their taxes. They have not filed their taxes.
Have they ever filed for taxes in their life?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
Then they're in violation.
I even spoke to there's a individual that won the lottery. He won the lottery, and he refused to pay his taxes. Now,
He's just a tax cheat.
huh?
What's his principle? Is he just virtue signaling, or is he just being a tax cheat because he wants to keep as much of it for himself as he can?
I think he blew through it. Honestly, he just
Ah,
don't have it, and he's going to be he's just going to be in a whole world of trouble. I mean, that's the thing when it comes to that. I mean, these people up and decide, okay, now's the best time to do that when the IRS hired a bunch of people and armed them all. I mean,
yeah, and plus you got Doge that came in there and upgraded their systems, and so therefore you've got AI looking. There's a lot more tax cheats than just that. I mean, my former roommate, she collects Social Security and food stamps and makes $3,000 a month, but she doesn't get to claim it all. You know.
as a disclaimer, if Doge or AI or anything was to stumble upon this video or any other ones, we're upstanding citizens.
We try to be.
Yep, and everybody in chat is too. So they're covered.
A pander to the AI gods.
Yep. Yes,
Yeah,
master. Yes, master. Yes, master.
God. Yeah, you know what? I don't know which is worse, having an AI overlord or going to digital re-education.
Did you see that now? Um, I'm about to say something about the Clintons, and I
I
don't
wouldn't.
I
I'm
don't
not a
want I don't
salesman
want
for it.
I don't want them to come and get me.
I
It's
wouldn't.
some it's something they said now. It's on public
Still,
record.
I wouldn't.
I'm
If you value your monetization, I wouldn't. I had 4 channels. They were all tied to one account, and I made a comment about the C family and some stuff that they were caught up in that had made the news.
uh huh.
And yeah, they deleted that channel plus the other 3 that were attached to it And yeah, I was almost monetized on my gaming channel. I
Mm.
was so pissed. I learned that's why I call them the C family.
Okay, well, let's see how I can word this. Yeah, I don't know. Well, okay. Let's do this. All right. There's people on both sides of the aisle that believe that people on both sides of the aisle should be sent to re-education camps.
Oh yes.
They have publicly said that.
Yeah. Didn't the Weather Underground try and do that?
Yeah.
Isn't Obama tied to those guys with people he had in the White House?
Yeah.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Let's jump over on the Bigfoot. Uh, okay, now everyone remembers the original Bigfoot picture. It's the one on the screen right now. You know, it's the picture of the Bigfoot that's out there, and he's got his arm back, and there's been a lot of things said about it. You know, there's been people that come out and said it was fake. There's even someone they said that was there that said it was fake. But the FBI actively investigated this. I stumbled into a crazy rabbit hole, and the rabbit hole is the FBI's FOIA vault. Freedom of Information. There is all kinds of things there, all kinds. And according to now, this is a news article. Someone stumbled onto it, and they're like, they just have released the FBI stuff like past couple days, and they can't believe it because according to this, there's a 22-page Bigfoot file. We can literally do a show on the actual Bigfoot file. We might. But between 1976 and 1977, the exchange that prompted media cover and the alleged Sasquatch evidence, they sent 15 hairs on skin to the FBI. The FBI agreed to test the samples. The FBI concluded that now they said that the FBI concluded that the hair was from the deer family, but not devotees on files that may exist. So it was from a species they have never seen before. A species we haven't yet to see.
But it's of the deer family.
Yeah, Bigfoot could be of deer family, but
I thought he was supposed to be an ape.
Well,
I thought he was supposed to be a monkey or something.
Well, let's do a quick check here because we share so much DNA with mice. How much DNA do apes share? Here. Apes, including humans, share approximately 80 to 90% of their DNA with deer and other similar hoofed mammals.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. It's amazing.
Apes and cattle have a 80% similarity. Apes and elephants have a 90% similarity. Apes and dogs have an 82 to 84% similarity. Apes and chimpanzees have 96 to 99 similarity.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, there's a 1-to-1. We all basically have common ancestries, and it all goes back to that. So it's not out of the realm of a possibility that that's a species of ape that is closely related to a deer, at least hair wise.
Okay.
Now, they went on and they made their determination. Wait a minute, let's see here. I had it. All right, there was a note here. It says, will you kindly, this is from them, will you kindly, to set the record straight once and for all, inform us if the FBI has examined hair which might be from a Bigfoot when this took place, and if it did take place, and what the results of the analysis might be. Please understand that our research, if serious, that the serious question that, that the FBI, whatever. And the FBI said in 1976, Peter, whatever his name is, he requested a strange hair sample. We do not often come across hair which we are able to identify, and the hair that we have now is about 15 hairs attached to a tiny piece of skin. It is the first we have obtained in 6 years we feel that may be of importance. They go on to talk about it, and it shows the articles from the New York Times and everything else. But it was concluded by the result of these examinations that the hair are from the deer family origin, and that originally crushed the deers, the things from you know uh, Bigfoot or whatever. But they go on to say in those documents that the Bigfoot, they cannot they believe that Bigfoot is real.
Okay.
Either dead or real. How they worded it, I don't know.
But everybody believes in Bigfoot. It's an old folklore, so maybe their personal bias is in on this without real conclusive evidence.
I don't know. I mean, I suggest anyone to go over. I mean, I can post them in I guess the description, but I mean, go over and check out the stuff on Bigfoot. There's a whole bunch of other things. I mean, the FBI Freedom of Information Act. I mean, it's A to Z, and I mean it covers animal mutilations. It can no, that's the whole alien bit. Um, it looks weird on my screen for some reason. Um, you know, Anna Nicole Smith. I mean, it goes through everything. Al Gore, Alcoholics Anonymous.
Really?
Ancient mystical order of the Rosicrucians. That's a freaky bunch.
I've never really like I've done some research on the Rosicrucians and the Freemasons. I don't see what they're doing as so nefarious. What is it that makes everybody not like them? I still haven't figured that one out. Because I don't see anything necessarily wrong.
Well, the Rosicrucians, the way they portray themselves as a offshoot of Masons in the Templar order. I mean, that
Yes.
is a broad explanation. Now, please don't come after me. I mean, I don't have the mental capabilities to actually go into a deep dive of that. And while I have plenty of books on it, while I even have some of the original materials that you would get if you were to go into that, I mean, it is crazy. I mean, you have to be dedicated. I mean, if you're a Mason, you got to be dedicated. I mean, I mean, my hats are off. I mean, the props, anything they get, anything they deserve, you know, from being in those groups, good for them. But yeah. I mean, there's just a lot of, like with anything, you get a bunch of powerful men together or powerful women together, and they decide to do shady shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But yeah, the way people single it out is like the Masons are the ones that are the total guilty ones, and everybody else is innocent. Like, No, I mean, because if you look at their origin story, it was about a society of free thinkers, and at that time, being a free thinker was kind of a hard thing. Plus, the Europeans had just found out about the what was it, the Illuminati, so there was a big thing against any type of secret society, to where they looked at it as possibly malicious because of that. And I think that certain groups just got a bad name over time.
I mean, I think eventually everything and everybody will eventually turn bad. I mean, once they, once they achieve a certain degree of power. I mean, it happened to America. It happened to every other country. It happened to every organization I can think of. I mean, I'm scrolling through these FBI files here, the names, and I mean, you get the things, like for example, let's say BLM. The idea behind BLM started out as a good thing, but you can go online and look, and you can see that I'm not lying. The ones that were running it started doing scams and stuff. I mean,
Oh.
there's literally an FBI file on it right here.
Yeah, I've been through BLM cities, and as a white boy, those places are not safe.
No, no.
Tallahassee was a BLM city. Anytime I walk through a city and I see BLM, I start to get a little bit nervous. Cincinnati's kind of like split. There's some BLM presence, but it's not really that big. But you could still feel it because, oh my God, it's fueling racial hatred on a level that hasn't been seen in decades.
Hey, there's the FBI file on the insane clown posse.
ICP, really?
Yeah, yeah.
The gypsies.
I mean, they thought they were, you know, full on gangsters, everything. They wanted they had people in their society. The whoop whoops and everything.
I've met some. Have you? Are you familiar with them?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
I mean,
I know about them. I listen to the music and everything. I mean, I have no problem with it. I mean, it's
yeah.
I have no problem with them or now I probably wouldn't go to like one of the carnivals or anything, but I mean it's just it, unless I was going there to interview people or talk to somebody or I don't know, I might go for the fun of it. I don't know, but I mean, yeah, yeah, but it is definitely not something that is for me, But I do like the music. I mean, honestly, I do. I mean, I
Well,
like I like
there
some of
was
ICP stuff.
they're also part of, or at least attached to the what is it, the Hatchet Kids? What's their group called? The kids with the hatchet. Fuck, I knew a bunch of them when I was in Portland. I just can't remember what their group's name was. They used to go out in the forest, and it wasn't Burning Man; it was the other one. That
Um,
they would have a gathering, and everybody had to have a hatchet.
you
That was
talking about
part of like.
you talking about the Juggalos?
No, I don't think it was the Juggalos. Those guys were associated with ICP.
Oh, you're talking about? Hold on, I'm looking them up. I know you're talking about.
Yeah, and they're mostly woods kids, like almost like the Rainbow Crowd.
Let's see. They have a video where they're on a Ouija board. What is it? I think it's called "We Don't Die." Twisted. Twiztide or Twisted. Yeah, they're um they got their faces painted and hair up. I mean that's the ones that were running around with hatchets. I
Huh.
mean there's literally like ICP had like bumper stickers of the hatchets and stuff like that. You can tell there's somebody's into like the carnival or the you know portrays themselves as like juggalos or whatever.
Yeah. I've yeah. Um I met one in passing.
Oh,
He's
I met
part
a
of a.
few. I met a few. I mean, like I said, I don't have any problem with the music. I mean, I would never go to.
Yeah, I'm not into that kind of music though. I'm more of a beach bum. That's kind of my personality type.
I got to run to the bathroom real quick. Sorry.
Okay. So, but yeah, I. Yeah.
Hey, go ahead and tell them
Oh, about
that you
the
won't be on
climate.
tomorrow, and you're taking a trip and stuff like that, so they know.
Oh, okay. So just so you guys know, I won't be on here tomorrow with Paranoid. I'm gonna do a live stream early on my channel though before I get on the bus. But we're rubber tramping it from Terre Haute, Indiana, and we're gonna get off in Harrisburg and take the AT down to Harper's Ferry, then go over to DC on the CNO, and then walk the East Coast Greenway up through from DC to Baltimore and back into Philadelphia. So we're taking a long route because I got a couple of months for the Great Walk, which we're doing in the middle of July with homeless entrepreneur. It's we're basically to bring awareness to the 150 million homeless globally, and anyways, we're going from Kensington, Philadelphia, which is the fentanyl capital of the United States, to MetLife Stadium for the World Cup finals, and we'll be there probably like July 20th or 21st, because we're leaving on the 15th, and so that's going to be a whole big media event. But we got to get close to Philadelphia, so we're rubber tramping it instead of doing a road walk, which is a pain in the ass, especially when you're not getting picked up as it trying to hitch. Mm. But yeah, so I won't be on tomorrow. I'll be on the bus. I'll be getting off in Harrisburg. And we'll be there in Harrisburg for about a week before we head to the AT. But anyways, uh, how's everybody in chat doing? Hey, if you're in chat, tell me where you hail from. Like what state or what country? Because I'm kind of curious to see where the audience comes from. Like, are you guys mostly United States, or are you guys mostly um, are you guys mostly like from a different part of the world? Uh, Big as closest DNA to humans, or practically the same species. Really? Well, that gives a whole new meaning to hogs automatically. Or all right. So, for those of you that are listening and everything like that, uh, uh, yeah, I don't got any questions. So I do a live stream for a couple hours. So usually, like, I'm pretty drained by the time I come on here. I mean, I have energy to do it, but it's
Wow,
it's
that turned into a couple of
it's
things.
nicer to be in the second chair than the first chair.
Yeah, that turned into a couple of things. I apologize. I had to go out there and use the I had to go use the bathroom. I had to go fix a security camera, and I had to go check on the kid. So
Hey, I got a survival question for you.
sure.
I'm starting to get rashes, and it's around bug bites. What is it just from like all the scratching from the mosquito bites, or should I be concerned?
I would be. Is there like uh is there lines? Is there anything like that? Do you see
No,
anything?
there's no lines. It's red from me scratching because like the dude, I've been getting when we were in Missouri, I was getting my ass eaten by every bug that I didn't even know existed. Yeah, I mean, I'm still nursing some bug bites from Missouri.
Are you using any kind of bug repellent or anything?
Uh, no.
Well,
But I do usually do like long sleeves and stuff like that. But sometimes when it gets in the 80s and 90s, I got to do short sleeves, and I get I don't know. It's just I got one like right in my elbow, and I'm just like I've been trying to air it out, and like I went and took a shower today, and another thing's weird is like I noticed that there's like a residue all over my body. No matter how much I try and wash it off, I can't get it off. You ever had that problem?
yeah, yeah.
Is
I
that
mean,
just from being outside, taking so long between showers?
it can be that. I mean, you get that when you're on the trail. You get that in other places. You need to uh see if you can find some carbolic soap.
What's I use Irish Spring.
Yeah, but see,
Uh,
Irish Spring isn't. I mean, it's fine if you want to. It's a good deodorizer soap, but carbolic soap is basically what they put into. It was real popular back in the '60s and stuff, and I luckily had a friend that had a old bunker, and he had that stuff packed full of it. I got a bunch of it, but you need to see if you can find that. If not, order it. Yeah, I mean there's a oh shit. Uh, they still make a brand down in Jamaica, I believe it is, and you can still get it. I mean I mean you can find it on eBay. But I mean it will keep away mosquitoes. Two, it will get you like super clean, and it has a deodorizer effect. And three, it will heal up anything on your body.
okay, yeah, I'm reading up on it now while we're talking about it. Prominent, where who showed it could kill bacteria and help. So, like something like dial.
No, that ain't carbolic.
Okay.
You need
Um.
carbolic. So
Okay.
you need it's red. Um, I mean you can buy it. What kind of stores are?
Um. I don't know.
I mean you can get it on Amazon. I mean you can get it. I mean
Yeah.
that's just hard stuff to do. Um,
But it's not common in the U.S. anymore.
well
So it
it is. You
says,
might yeah.
Village Vitamin Store, Blue Power. Okay. There's. It doesn't say like. Um. Okay, so I won't find it in any of the. So I got to go to like an international grocery store if I want to find it locally, like an Asian market or something.
You can, or you can. I mean, didn't you say you can like order and get it sent to you, like general delivery or something? Pick it up someplace.
Yeah, yeah. I can get it sent general delivery. It's just it's about delivery time too, because like some stuff I've looked at ordering, it takes a month to get to you, and I'm like, I don't know where I'm gonna be in a month.
Uh, I
But
mean, the
I'll figure it out. Now that I know what I need, I will. Because like I've never gotten rashes on trail, and I know I've been getting a lot of bug bites doing this road walk, so I've just been trying to figure it out. It's localized, and I think part of it is like where it's at. It's like I've got a lot of sweat and stuff built up because like I bend my elbow right there, and that's kind of where it's at is in the crease.
no, they also sell something you can buy from Walmart. It's called sodium bicarbonate soap,
Hmm.
and it will it will do the job, but it won't do the healing part. I
Okay.
mean, yeah, so sodium bicarbonate and carbolic soap.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I got to do an Amazon order when I get to Harrisburg because I need to replace my spoon. So if, I need to get the order over so much to get free shipping anyway, so maybe I can add that.
Yeah, yeah. But look for that. I mean, once you use it, you'll love it. I mean, you know, hell, in England, they literally. I mean, this was. I mean, if you were back in that time period, I mean, you would know the smell of carbolic soap, and I mean, people use it to clean their carpets, their clothes. Hell, we even still use it to clean our clothes sometimes. Like, I mean, it's just it's amazing. I mean, and I don't see why it's not more widely used now. But
Because if it's good for you, they've taken it off the shelves.
I mean, but yeah, carbolic soap is really good for you if you have you know skin problems. If you want to stay clean for long periods of time. Um, if I ever go back out on the trail, that's definitely going to be my kit. I mean, I'm not going to leave home. I wouldn't now. Like my soaps, my soaps and cleaning stuff. I'll have some kind of special thing for my hair, but I will have a thing of carbolic soap, and I will have some kind of lotion in there, and every single time I will never ever forget to take bag balm. If you do a lot of walking and you have your boots on for a long time, back bomb is magic.
Was it take the smell out, or is it take the bugs out?
No, I mean, when I was up in Washington, I was up in the mountains back and forth. I mean, I was still taking baths every 2 days, but I was taking them in the rivers. But I mean, I was like way out in the country. I mean, I was out there for other reasons. Um, this wasn't a homeless thing. I mean, I was out there exploring, but I wasn't watching what I was doing, and my feet. Oh God, they started turning raw and blistering and everything else. And when it happens fast, and you don't expect it. And you might think you're fine one day, and the next day you got something going on with your feet, and you need your feet. Your feet, if you're out walking about, your feet's the most important thing. One of
Yeah.
them. And that stuff saved my life. Yeah, Washington State. I was up at the Three Sisters.
I thought the Three Sisters was in Oregon.
No, very top of Washington. Very top of Washington.
Must be a different. Yeah, because we got Three Sisters in Oregon. Because that's where our red gravel comes from, which is our primary export in Oregon.
This is up past Everett, Washington, back up in there way up in the country. Oddly, Everett, Washington is where they flew the first case of the cough to. This for reference.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, yeah, that makes sense coming from China.
Yeah, but now the last time I was in Everett, Washington, though, and the last time I was in Washington in general, I mean, it was so weird. Seattle, Washington, everybody looked like they were zombies. It was
What
bad.
year?
Yeah, by Mount Vernon. Um, this was when was this? 20 years ago, maybe something like that. I don't know. I got it. I got it in a diary somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
was
could tell
there
you
probably a
exact.
few years before that.
Yeah,
No, I was there when Bush dedicated the new courthouse. I took a job transfer up there. I didn't really. I guess I'm being from the West Coast. You don't notice it. I notice the kids nowadays they look like zombies, but they didn't look like zombies back then. At least not to me.
I mean, it looked different to me. I guess when I went out. I mean, I'd been out there. I don't know 4 or 5 times. Um, at that time to begin with, I went out there. I had bought a boat, and I was living at the marina to begin with, and I thought that would be fun. I thought that would be really fun, and it was to begin with. But I don't know. it seemed tiring. I'm not a water dweller like that. I mean, it was affordable. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, you could back then. I mean, if you had $400 or $500 a month, you could easily live on. If you own the boat, you could live on the boat and have plenty of food and pay your port fee and everything else, and you'd be fine. And you could go and have fun if you wanted to. You could afford gas back then. Now it would be a little more expensive. And I met a lot of interesting people back then. Older couples that were living on boats, like right beside mine. I was on like a 40-footer, 45-footer, Chris Craft, I think it was, and in the dock beside me was this massive boat, massive sailboat, and there was an older couple in there. They were swingers, but yeah,
Fun.
they were they've been doing it for damn near 10 years, living out there.
So what is it that becomes, so like unappealing after a while? Because I've had several people, I think even you included, that have thought about, get me a boat and let me nomad down the coastline.
Yeah, I mean, I can get you a boat. I mean,
Well,
I
I'm
have
just
no
wondering what was it that became the turnoff for you?
just living on the boat. I mean, it was
You weren't able to be active.
no. I could be active. I could do all kinds of stuff. I mean, I had everything I needed. I mean, I had power, water, TV. I had um I even had a computer in there. And I mean, and I was able to work and do everything else. But it just seemed like you would think 40-foot boat you'd have a lot of room, but it you didn't feel like you did. And I mean, after a while, you got worried about everything, and especially if you were out on the water. I mean, you could be anchored off somewhere in the water, and you'd be like, you're wondering if something's going to happen to your boat. If you go to sleep, and you're going to wake up in the water, and it's just a horrible feeling after a while. And you get to see now some people get used to it, but I didn't. I did not. I mean, it just seemed like every time, the longer I was out there, the more it got worse for me, and just not for me. But yeah, I mean, I could get you a boat. Serious, I could put your butt on a sailboat, and you know, yes sir, yes sir, and you might have a blast. You know,
I don't know. I mean, I need to do something, huh? I'm sorry. What?
no, you're fine. I said you might have a blast.
Like, I know that Sam is getting to an age, like I got maybe another year or so on trail with her before she gets off, and if she, she her hips are only gonna go for so long, just with all the running around and shit that we do. I'm worried. Like, I know I got to get something static, and I've been contemplating van life, but that just, I don't know. I'm not sure I want to do that. I got other people that are talking to me about doing the sea nomad life, and I'm like, I don't know about that, but I do know I need to do something that allows me to kind of give Sam static time, so she's not so ran in the ground and she can actually enjoy herself.
Well, I mean, you can go and live on a boat, and you don't have to go up the coast. I
Well,
mean,
no, I mean, I would want to travel. I don't like being static.
yeah. I mean, well, I mean,
This is a way to.
that would be up to you, but you'd have to make sure you really got a hang of it.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. I'll keep it in my wheelhouse, but yeah, I gotta do something because I gotta travel and Sam's gotta be able to have, lighter travel. So, I mean, I gotta figure out a way to make it so that we both are happy.
Well, when you get serious about it and you start seriously thinking about it, remind me, and I'll call my people, and we'll see what we can find. And I mean, your daddy's down there in Florida, right?
Yeah.
I can, yeah, that would be a good place to start. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can get you a boat down there.
Yeah. Yeah, after we're done with the Great Walk, probably in August is probably when I'll start talking about it again. But it's been something that's been on my mind for, I don't know, ever since we crossed through Missouri into Illinois.
If you could, generate enough income, you would need about, I think it's $1,000 a month. Let me check real quick. How much? Because people have started to do this, older people,
Mhm.
and I can't remember what it was monthly. Nomadic back to back cruising you can do for about $30,000 a year.
So that's about 1,200 a month.
Yeah.
12 to 1,500 a month.
Yeah. So I mean, but
No, that's $2,000 a month.
yeah, but you would be getting. I mean, you might be able to get some. You might be able to get it cheaper, and you might be able to get some discount stuff. I don't know. I know there's other people that do it. Um, but I mean, you basically would be able to live on a cruise ship year round. Um, you would have, you know, access to casino. You would have access to drinks. You would have access to as much food as you can eat. Um, I mean, it would be fun, kinda. But I mean, I don't want to be on a cruise ship.
No, I wouldn't want to do a cruise ship. I'd rather just, get a boat, sail up and down the coast, go into ports, and give me an opportunity to kind of like set my living situation up so it's I don't have to keep, after a while, every morning you get up, you break down camp. Every night you come in, you set up camp. The next morning, same thing. Sometimes it's like there's certain parts just like I wish I didn't have to break down camp every damn day. You know. I don't mind it, but still. But yeah, that would give something.
I,
Yeah.
I mean, plus it would be how big of a boat you can handle by yourself, unless you're going to have somebody with you.
Just it's gonna be me and Sam. I'm not gonna have anybody with me. If somebody comes along with me, they'll be getting off the next port. You know what I mean? Um, I'm not really into having somebody live with me. So I mean, what a 20 some odd footer would probably be fine for me and Sam.
Well, I mean,
I'm used to living compact.
I
As
mean,
long as I got a place to cook, a
as
place to eat,
long
and a place to.
as long as you're not planning to, you know, you know, go too far past the Keys, I think you'll be fine.
No, we just kind of like hugged the coastline as much as we could.
Yeah, I mean, there's some parts of the coastline that can get choppy. I mean,
Yeah. Um, and I mean, even I could go north and south and stay in port and stuff like that or whatever. But it just like if I did something like that, I kind of like to sail around all of like start in like let's say Maine and make my way all the way over to Seattle.
now when I was doing it on this coast, on the East Coast, I mean, it it was fun to go from like the lower part of Virginia down to like South Carolina and down to Florida. I really like the Keys. You know, when it wasn't raining, I mean, it's warm and everything else, but it's just so corrupt down there. I couldn't handle it.
Yeah. I don't know. I thrived in San Francisco, and that was very anarchy type society back then. I mean, fuck, I got a warrant out for Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse.
But I wouldn't suggest living on a boat on the West Coast. I mean, it's just you know the weather's not good. And like I said, it's just the water. I don't know. There's something about it. I don't like it.
Okay.
I just don't like it. I mean, You might tie off one night and lose your anchor, and the next thing you know, you're headed toward China.
Fun.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can speak Mandarin.
Well, I mean, there's a spot there where you can't get any wind, you can't get any sail. It's just basically a dead area, and if you're not prepared for it, you just kind of like sort of got to inch through. I mean, there's stories about it that are horrific. It's where the basically all the trash goes in the ocean.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. I've seen stuff on that.
Yeah,
Wow.
but
Well,
I
maybe
mean,
boat living
I
isn't for me.
huh?
Maybe boat living isn't for me because I mean, one thing I would like to do is I'd like to be able to make it to other countries. Like drive down to Mexico, drive through Central America, stuff like that. One day, but either that or take a boat or something like. I'm not gonna hop freight train doing it. I'm not gonna walk doing it.
Now that's another idea. I
What?
mean, you could live on a train or caboose or something.
Yeah, have one imported to my property.
No, I see. What was it? I thought they still did that some places. Let's see. I mean, I thought there was a. Yeah, you can live on a train year round.
Yeah, what's that gonna cost me though?
Coach living is theoretically cheaper than rent in some cities, approximately 50 cents an hour less than some Chicago apartments. I'm not sure what it costs to live in Chicago. Uh, so you could live privately owned cars. They have them. Yeah,
Huh?
they have them. I mean, I think you'd have to call Amtrak and talk to them, but they have them.
Huh? Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that either. I mean, we know that
I'm
trains.
trying to keep cheap living so I can buy hamburgers on the road.
Yeah. Hey, it's okay to dream, man. It is. You can
Yeah.
figure out a situation. I mean, because you're either going to be static. You're either going to have to live in a house, a trailer, or an apartment, um, or be homeless, or
Whatever.
or you're going to have to um, be an export and leave the United States and do the same thing basically. Um,
Yeah, I don't think I would survive as well outside of the United States. It's kind of, I you've been down to south of the border. I'm sure you'd agree with me. It's a lot harder living that way, especially getting food and stuff like that. Because like Mexico doesn't allow homelessness.
well, I mean financially though, I mean if you had money, you could. There's a lot of people that would be considered poor by poor standards living in America that have moved to Mexico or parts of South America and live like kings.
Now
Um,
that I might do.
there's situations like that, and I mean, yeah, there's that there. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it comes with some shit. A big steaming pile of it. You gotta get adjusted to their rules and their situations and their things and the people and everything else, and then you might be able to get a place for $10 a month, but then you got to figure out how you gonna get everything to build your place, or you're gonna have to fix your place, or I mean, there's stuff there. I don't know.
Yeah, and then you got to pay off the Gestapo that they got down there too, so that they
Oh
don't
yeah,
fuck with you.
or you might be, hey, the you know, uh, American that has a long beard moved in. We'll go kidnap him and see if we can ransom him off. Um,
You'll get $200.
yeah,
Ow.
and are they do it to make a point or some other stuff? You just don't know. But I mean, but I mean, those are your options. You got really. I mean, those are your options. Either homelessness, live in an apartment, live in a trailer, live in a mobile home or some mobile camper like a van, or
Mhm.
you know get a house, get a abandoned house and fix it up, or get a good one, or live on a boat. Those are basically the options of some form of security in the United States.
Well, I guess either I'm gonna do a van or I'm gonna do a boat because all the rest of those, no. No, I'm not. I like settling down, but I can't settle down for a long period of time. Well, I was there in Maryville, like for the first 6, 7 months, all I could do was think about like all I want to do is get out on trail. I just want to go. I want to go. I want to go. I want to go. I want to go. And it took till like the last couple of weeks to where I finally calmed down enough to be like, okay, I think I can actually settle down. So it would take me almost a year just to get used to being in a house.
Now, if you don't want to be on the cruise ship type of thing, but you do want to be on like a bigger boat situation,
Mhm.
they do have these. I have recently been made aware of that you can basically get room and board or on like cargo ships.
As long as you do work and stuff,
No,
yeah.
no, no. You can get by your room and board. You basically buy a ticket which is a whole lot cheaper than a cruise ship. I mean, we're talking, you know, less than $500 compared to 1,000 or 2,000. So
Oh wow.
yeah. So I mean, I mean, but it doesn't come with all the fun stuff. You're on a gray vessel with storage containers and people who probably don't want to be there to begin with.
Yeah, I could handle that though. That wouldn't be half bad. Cause what is it like a month to cross?
Yeah, yeah.
So bring 3 cartons of cigarettes and fucking enough, and enough food, and yeah, you can make it to Europe. That'd be kind of fun.
I mean, I thought about doing it to like for the adventure and like I don't know, just to have like a conversation with the people that are on there, and um, I also thought about doing the one that where you go up to like through Antarctica and stuff like that, like the icebreakers. Um, you could do that one too. You could go on.
No, no, I might take a cargo ship, and now that you've mentioned it, I'm gonna ask, how do I get one of those tickets? Like, how
I'll
do you come about finding one?
I'll do some pulls for you and see what I can find.
Because you know what, I might take somebody up on that. Because I mean, being near New York, I'm at an international port. I wouldn't mind all of a sudden just ending up in fucking Europe, walking my way to fucking Davos or something.
I mean, you'd have to have your passport now.
Eh, I'm a human being. I have the inherent right to travel.
Not according to them. Not when it comes to that. You
Ah,
get right
damn.
into you get right into as soon as you got into some port there near England or wherever.
Well, if I went to like Romania, I could get in.
I wouldn't go anywhere without a passport. I mean, you can get a passport, and that doesn't. They can expedite that, and you could have one. I mean, it's a lot easier getting a passport here than it is going over there and having to get one from here.
I thought that the gold star on your driver's license now meant that that was your passport.
That's a real American ID. Now that is your basic passport to like certain countries.
Okay, then that works. I just need to figure out what country that'll get me into.
Let's see. Well, we'll look it up. Let's see. Real ID
It'll probably be most of Western Europe.
passport. Let's So both U.S. passport books and passport cards are considered real ID compliant with TSA. So you can go. Uh, oh wait a minute. No, it can't be used for international travel.
Ah, damn.
Yeah, but you need it. You need a valid U.S. passport book. So I thought you could use it too when you said it.
Yeah, 'cause I mean, it makes sense, but I guess it's, yeah. So now they're making going from state to state foreign travel, which is technically the way it's supposed to be. But as a U.S. citizen, it just doesn't make sense. It's contradictory.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but okay, well, at least now that's off. If I decide to do something like that, I'll get my passport. I mean, what does it take? I could get it in like 30 days or something like that.
You can, but I mean, I think they can issue you like a quick one, a quicker one. You can get it in like 5 to 7, something like that. Right, and you
Yeah,
get it approved. I mean, if you already have your real ID, you can get one.
yeah. I know my first business partner, her daughter was stationed in Japan, and it took her like a month to get hers.
Yeah, standard real ID is not allowed. It's only good for required in domestic air travel. Enhanced driver's license is good for Canada and Mexico. The U.S. passport card is good for Canada, Mexico, Caribbean, and Bermuda, and your passport book is good for worldwide.
Okay, so I guess I need to get a book.
A
Yeah,
book.
but like, yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Just like I don't I have a couple of misdemeanors. I know like Canada, I was looking at becoming an OTR driver, and they told me this is like in the early 2000s that Canada said no misdemeanors are even allowed in their country. So that I know some of these places will put some strict restrictions on that as far as like allowing you to come in. So I'll have to start doing some research and figuring out which one. That might be fun. That might be a next story arc. Who knows? That might be something fun to do. If it could happen. I mean, it's like it's a shot in the dark, but it's worth it. That would be kind of fun and a whole new way to travel, but then I'd have to learn language and learn how to talk to people without even knowing the language. That'd be fun.
It would be funny watching them try to use the Rosetta Stone.
Oh yeah. Well, Google Translate, I used that with an illegal once.
No, they got these real cool headphones. We were thinking about getting a pair. Um, there's a lot of um people from other places around here. But there's these cool headphones. You can get them like for I think $20 or $25. They're AI powered, and they'll translate on command. I mean, like they'll say something, and then they'll translate it back to you in English. Um, Now them if you're talking, they don't it doesn't translate for them. But I mean, I guess you could take and stick one in their ear or something if you wanted to. But
Yeah.
or show them on your phone.
Yeah, that's kind of what I had to do. It was like a phone. Like he handed his phone and I'd read it and then I'd type in a question and it translated and he'd type it back. Yeah, it became basically a side by side text message.
Okay, let's see. We covered the FBI stuff. Now there's a lot in the FBI vault that I want to talk about, but not tonight. It's not going to happen. I'm just going to have to go from the top and go down. Because I'm in story after story here. Stuff. I mean, they even talk about Johnny Cash, John Denver. I mean, this is wild. They talk about Tesla. They talk about um, the things that happen in Los Angeles. They talk about
Oh, the fire.
yeah. I mean, they go into these wild this
I'm
everything.
I'm curious what they, because there I've heard one side that says cartels and the other side that says that says it was just a random fire.
I'm surprised they let them post that. That's the files on the original Knights of the KKK.
Mm.
That has. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that points to a specific political party in there.
Yeah, Robert KKK Bird.
Yeah. Um. But yeah, this is crazy. The Soviet active measures relating to U.S. peace movement. FBI using GPS to track people. The Grateful Dead. I mean, this is crazy.
Yeah,
Uranium
well,
ore. Yeah.
anything that's anything. The NSA guy that I talked with, made something very clear to me. It is strictly in the government's interest to keep the peace, because as long as the peace is kept, and they keep people in order, then they retain power. And so their sole goal, whenever they make any choices, it's all for ensuring the perpetuity of government and its control and governance. So, like, anything that would be a possible threat to that order would definitely be investigated.
I mean, I think they what they do. I mean, I agree with you, but I mean, I think what they do when it comes to information and files and things like that, and they got a good practice. In the same way with like UFO files and files about Bigfoot and files about you know whatever Alf. You know, I mean, they keep it. They hold it back and then they release it. Later on. It's going to be wild to see. I don't think I will be alive to see it, and you probably won't either. But at some point, the stuff that's happening in 2026 and 2025, all of them files will be on the internet somewhere if we still have an internet.
I think we'll have an internet. Whether or not we have access to it is a different story.
Well, I mean, that's debatable. I mean, because there's different levels of the internet. Because I mean, we have always had an internet. So how long has the internet been up again?
Well, they made it public in the 90s, but we've had DARPANET
Well, it
or
wasn't.
ARPANET for fucking since the 50s or 60s.
Well, see, that's the. You remember me talking about the Hacker House guy, the Bell Labs guy?
I
A
think
little bit,
so.
yeah. Okay. Well, Bell Labs, they actually built a city, and they had this. This was back in '45, I think it was. I had one of the terminals. Well, I had a couple of the terminals actually. This guy gave me some of those terminals. And he gave me the hardware and stuff like that, and I got to play with this stuff when I was a kid. But what basically what it was, they wanted to create a system where each house had terminals in it, kind of like Fallout. The way we look at Fallout, like the game now, how the game's set up. You go in the game, you have these terminals and stuff in there, and you go to them,
Okay.
and it all goes back to a central system. Well, that's the way our government and Bell South and Bell Labs, Ma Bell, um, envision the world. And we kind of went off on a different direction where we have all this hardware and stuff in our house. But now in 2026, um, they're wanting to go to the terminal system.
They kind of already have it with smart homes.
Well, you still have basic equipment in your homes. I mean, we're just talking. Have you seen a Chromebook?
Yeah, I used to have one.
Okay, we got a few here. I mean, we don't use them. I mean, I think I might watch videos on one or occasionally, but and it just sits there for the most part. I mean, it's of no real use when it comes. I mean, I can write on it. I can
Yeah, they're
watch
slow
videos
as
on it,
shit.
but they're not worth anything. And the guy that owns Amazon, um,
Bezos?
Bezos, he says that's what they're going to do. They're going to um, basically give us dumb computers and dumb systems and make the internet a uh, pay per system.
Well, that's what they originally wanted to do, was to make it pay to play, and they're like, no, in order to get this to take off, you got to make it free. So that's where like ads and stuff like that started coming in. But originally, when they released it, they wanted to make it paid.
I mean, I don't mind all the ads. The ads are what they are. You know, the company's got to stay in motion. People who make the content's got to get paid. I get that. You know, being a creator myself, I understand how that system works. But the new system they're developing is takes us out of the loop. I mean, it takes it completely. I mean, because once you start taking the hardware out, and I mean, you don't own any games anymore. Like,
Yeah, I've been hearing that.
I mean, and like for an example, I mean, this has been going on for a while. People just haven't realized it. You know, Xbox and PlayStation was basically selling you a lie. You know, you go into to GameStop and you'd buy a game, and if you noticed, you always had to download something. You were downloading a game. You were buying a link. You know that's what was on that software. I mean that's what was on that disc you stuck in your console.
Yeah, they
So
found a practical use for Citrix.
yeah, yeah, and I mean it worked. I mean that's the reason why you had a hard drive in your console. That's the reason why you had a you buy the game. It come with the basically the link and the password to sign on, and it would download the software, show you as a paid user, and let you download it, and then you'd go play the game, and they would fleece you for more money.
Oh yeah, for little add-ons and shit. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the way the system's been set up. Like I said, you've not owned anything, and I mean it's people are starting to wake up to it, and they have been for at least the last couple of years. Um,
Oh, because Davos said something, but Davos had already put it. Like, look at your EULA. You don't own that operating system. You're leasing it.
no, yeah, well, the same way with Windows. I mean that they open source stuff every so often. I think see XP is open source now. They stopped support for Windows 10, and now we're moving into 11. And most systems can't even run 11 because of like the trusted processor authentication or whatever you call it, TPE.
Yeah, that's all in the BIOS. That's what. Okay, so the guy the guy that I keep telling you about, the NSA guy. Yeah, that was why it was such a big deal for him to crack the BIOS on my it was my like it was an HP gaming laptop. I mean, it had like fucking 6 gig of 6 or 16 gig of RAM and shit like that. But yeah, you got to go into the BIOS and actually change the code, and there's a specific way to go in there and do it. They've actually made it so you, even with Windows 10, you can't even uninstall on a Windows machine and put Linux on it if you want. You actually have to go buy specific brands like Lenovo or Asus if you want to be able to put Linux on without Windows still trying to grapple on. And the other problem with Windows is they decided in the effort to make it faster, they decided to index everything. So they just pull it up, and so your whole operating system's loaded into your RAM, and that's why it's running slow. Is just because
it's so bloated and it uses so much hardware, and it's actually an idiot. Some idiot fucking designed this, and this is probably the worst
Now
design architecture they ever had.
that would be the case for some of the what you would call lock systems, or um, like systems that you buy that are branded like Dell and HP. They have the actual processors themselves are locked. Um, like you can't go buy, like you go on eBay and you look up Threadrippers, and you will see Threadripper processors for a couple $100. But you will say that, but they'll say like Dell OEM beside them, or they'll say HP OEM beside them. Those will
Oh
only
damn.
work in Dell machines. Those are locked to that BIOS. Now my system here, I mean, it runs Windows 10 right now, and it has Linux on it, and it has a uh, a 68 processor Intel field card in there, and it runs Linux on there. So I mean, it's fine. I mean, I can do what I want to do with it. I mean, I can strip down and remove stuff that Windows tries to add when they do updates. Um, but that's not the case for Windows 11. No, no, they lock it down.
Yeah, they've been trying to lock it down for a while now. That it sounds like they're finally successful. Yeah, I will never use when I'm sitting there with my laptop at a coffee shop, and this guy is sitting there showing me that Windows broadcasts everything when you turn it on, and most people don't even set up their security protocols, and so Windows leaves everything open. We got to look through this guy's hard drive and everything without him even knowing it. Other Windows machines can't see it, but a Linux machine can.
Well, there's like a little device you can get. It's I'm getting tired. I've had a long day. I apologize, guys. Um, it's a it's made out of a pie. It's you can like hack uh remote controls, and I've seen people take it in Walmart and made alarms and stuff go off. What the hell is that thing called? A flipper. There we go. Flippers. Now, if you go on right now and you order a flipper, there's a 50-50 chance the FBI might come knocking. Um, but you can still get them. They're out there, or you can put them together. But flippers will show you um, everything your computer is doing, somebody's computer is doing. It will show you their Wi-Fi keys. It will allow you to look for Wi-Fi signals and tap into them, or Bluetooth signals and tap into them, or security
So is
cams and tap into them, and you can control them.
wow.
Yeah, a flipper's a crazy little device.
Wow. That's something else, man. That is definitely something else. It's amazing the technology that's out there, and like my Microsoft certifications are under XP, like Windows 2003, or excuse me, Server 2003, Server 2000, Windows XP, stuff like that. And I've intentionally stayed away from technology just because I got burned out on it. But now that I'm looking at it, it's like, holy shit, there's a lot of new technology. Like stuff that was like theory when I was in the IT world. It's
Man,
like,
I had a blast when Server 2003 came out. I
oh,
I had
dude, that's
I
my
was
favorite.
I was part time. I had worked for this company, and they had planned to open up the server division, and they had got all this software, all these keys and everything else, and well, they didn't do the division they were going to do, and I mean, hell, we had like 2,000 keys, and they just tossed them in the bin one day, and I was like, fuck that! I grabbed them, I took them home, and shortly after that, they let us go, and I ended up moving in with a buddy, and he was selling stuff on eBay. He asked me to run his eBay channel, so I started running his eBay channel to make extra money. Um, he talked me into it. There was a case of whiskey involved, and
Mhm.
so I went through their families' tractor and trailers, and picked out stuff and sold stuff for them. But I had those keys. I thought, okay, and I started searching, and I saw these keys going for $2,000 and $3,000 a pop. And man, I listed those, and I made a fortune. I made a fortune from selling those keys. And yeah, like I said, I had a blast when that came out.
Oh yeah,
I
I
mean, I, I mean,
bet.
I mean, I, I wish I could stumble on something like that again. I mean, and we're talking a good, what is it, 17, $18,000 back then.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
I mean, like I said, the keys were going for like 2 grand a pop, and I mean, I was selling them under to get rid of them. I mean, I had like 2,000 of them.
oh wow.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I remember.
and people were like, "Nah, don't send me the software." I mean, I could get them the software if they wanted it. They're like, "Don't send me the software. Just send me the key." I mean, that was how easy it was. I mean, I just literally had to take and type in the key to in an email and send it to them. That's how easy that was.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that must have been something else. Like in, I don't know. I've never, the, I don't think I've ever come across anything that lucrative. No, actually, I did one time. Um, so I meet this guy. He claims to be on the rescue, or to have been on the rescue crew to capture John Mc, or to rescue John McCain, to take him out of the POW camp. And so he was a homeless drunk and all, but he took me over to this parking lot. It was paid parking for the so that people could go clubbing, because clubbing was really big back then. And so I sat there and I didn't say a word, didn't say I was security or anything else like that. This is like, I don't know, like 2002, 2003. I made like 300 bucks that night just sitting there, people thinking that I was fucking security watching the fucking lot.
Oh yeah, I've seen stuff like that. People, you can make a lot of money just you know.
Yeah, I went back a couple weeks later to try it again, and fucking security was actually hip on it. It's a one and done type thing if you're gonna do something like that.
Well, I mean, you could sell it like you're watching people's vehicles. I mean, that would be all they trusted you to do it. I
I'll
don't know.
watch your vehicle for $5. Okay, here. Fucking
Yeah.
next thing you know, you got people just coming up having you fucking $5 $10 bills.
I mean, people's gonna make money one way or another. I mean, people find a way to do it. And I mean, if it's somebody who's actually doing it and seems to be doing it, I mean, we have stuff like that here. Like they'll have those big ass yard sales, like here in my town. Well, not my town, but beside my town, we have things like called like gun shows and Labor Day weekends and I don't know Labor Day weekends and this massive yard sales. The people from what was it Quartz City, California or Arizona? I can't remember which one it is. But anyway, it's Quartz City. I think it's Quartz City, Arizona. But I might be wrong. I'm pretty sure I am. But anyway, they have a big yard sale event out there. And what these people do, they start there and they go across the United States. Hey, that might be something for you to get into.
Yeah, I've seen what it does to the homeless community in Chattanooga, because the Californians were doing that shit. They were no longer able to give out clothes to the homeless, because you had these guys coming in and just like basically taking anything that was good, and they couldn't get any donations to the clothes closets anymore.
Well, no, no. This would be like I'm not talking about homeless wise. This would be like you get a van and you get I don't know
Yeah, you sell it regionally like you do it on Etsy. So you buy it in Arizona for $2, but it's going for like $9 in Washington. So you sell it in
Well,
Washington for
they buy
$9.
stuff. They buy stuff along the way. They like buy trinkets, stuff like that. I might sell goods, whatever, whatever deals they can get. And I mean, they have a yard sale there in Arizona, the same kind of yard sale, this big yard sale. And then they all group up together and they travel across the United States and they sell along the way. And I mean, like each city has. I mean, it's akin to like a carnival in a way. I mean,
Okay.
my buddy, he moved into. I mean, he moved. He found him a small little town. I actually thought about moving out there too, but he found a small little town, and each year they have a similar one. I mean, it's yeah, it is what it is. But I mean, it's a way to it's a way of life and a way to make money and way to go through and way to survive.
That I mean, there's guys that dumpster dive. Like if I got a van, I'd probably be doing like selective dumpster diving, or something along those lines. Because then I could attach a bike and a fucking trailer to my van and just go and do something like that. Because I actually had a guy, when I was first learning homelessness before I became homeless the first time, that took me out dumpster diving and showing me like all kinds of stuff. Like people throw away brand new stuff all the time. You get it out, you clean it up, you repurpose it, and you sell it for top dollar.
Mm.
You know, People make thousands of dollars a week doing that shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a way to do things. I mean, like you said, looking at thinking about taking Sam off the road, and this would be a one another idea that you could do. Put her in a van and go out there, and I mean, you wouldn't be doing any walking really. You'd be chilling at spots, selling stuff, and driving.
That actually sounds like something that I would be up for. Um,
And you're not
and I
static.
could do it before I even get a van because that'll probably help me fund a van.
Yeah,
'Cause,
yeah.
like I talked to this guy in Cincinnati. I even did a video with him. Yeah, he was telling me he was making like $100,000 a year doing it, but it all went to his addiction. And now that he's clean and sober, he does it lightly, and he still makes like 50 grand a year, just like not even trying.
I mean, I got a friend that used to do that, but with car shows, and he made a killing. And he would travel and sell car parts, and he had a van. He'd pull in, he'd open the door, he'd put stuff out on the table, and he'd done his thing, had fun, moved on to the next spot after that, and just kept on doing it. And you know, he could rest and retire when he wanted to, and or go back on the road, or he had a name for it. I don't remember what it was, but it was funny. But like I said, it's something to look into. Well, we've been on for 2 hours. I think I want to call it a night and get some rest. Um, if you're fine with that, I know you got to go and do your tripola tomorrow. Um, so I guess we'll see you in what, 2 days?
So you won't see me tomorrow, but you'll see me the next day. I'll make sure to make time.
Okay. All right. I'll
Um,
see you. I'll see you then. Well, I mean, at least give me a ring or a message. Let me know you're headed. You're on your way on the bus or whatever.
yeah, yeah, I'll update you as I go along. Yeah, not a problem.
All right,
Yeah.
man. Good
All
night.
right.
Get some rest.
All right. I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you in a couple days.
All
Bye.
right. Bye. All right, everybody that's left and everybody that will be signing in. Well, watching the video later, of course. You'll be stuck with me by myself tomorrow. Um, I was going to bring another guest on, but I just thought I'd go ahead and do the show. So we'll figure out something cool to talk about. Um, and like I said, I'll probably go over. God, I can't talk tonight. I'm sorry, guys. I'm tongue tied. My mouth feels funny. I don't know why, but yeah, I know. I mean, I just had a long day. I've had a long week. I mean, I've been really putting it in. Um, and it's not going to stop. I still got so much to do. I'll go over it tomorrow. But let's see, where was I? Anyway, I'll probably go over everything again. You know, about the channel changes. Um, this midnight confession thing. Like I said, if you guys want to join it, please do. I think you'll like it. There's nothing up there now. Won't be for a little bit. I got to get all the modifications done at Paranoid Times first. And wow, wow. I've been up since 5. Yeah, 5. I got up, um, did a short YouTube video and watched the news and a few things like that, and then I think I played a game a little bit. I don't know. I'll post the thing in the link. Here, I'll post it in chat. Where I gotta go to see here. Uh, that's the link right there you need. But I'll put it in the description. I'll make sure you guys have all that stuff, and I'll make sure you guys have the link to the backup channel where all the other videos are going to be. I have to move each one of them by hand, so yeah, I don't know. It's going to be fun. So there's going to be that much more. I'm going to be up. I'm probably going to be up a long time when I start doing that. Anyway, good night. Stay paranoid, my friends. God bless. And thank you for tuning in, as always. Good night.